at the Birkie Trail Half Marathon in Cable, Wisconsin. I have a lot of different things that I want to talk about leading up into the race, the actual race itself, and what I'm planning on doing in the coming months. So, to start things off, going into the race, I felt really confident based on how my fitness was and all the workouts leading up into the race at that point. So that was really nice just to have that sort of confidence going into it. But the couple of days leading into the race itself did not go as planned. I was originally supposed to leave for Minneapolis on Thursday night, but because of weather, my flight ended up getting delayed and I had to take a morning flight from the airport. And given everything of traveling just to get to the airport and going back, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to do that. So I ended up sleeping on the airport floor Thursday night and flew into Minneapolis on Friday morning very early. So that was not ideal. After working on Friday, I had to drive to Cable, Wisconsin, which was another 3 hours just to get to the actual race location. So the couple days and nights I did not get great sleep. Sleeping on the airport floor is not ideal 2 days before a big race, and definitely felt the lasting impact of that on race day. So getting to Cable, Wisconsin, the actual race location, was fairly easy, but I definitely felt like my body wasn't as well rested as it should, rightfully so, given what happened. But nonetheless, I really felt like I could still muster up a good performance. And once the gun went off for the race, I tried to play it conservatively and not get sucked out by the leaders. Joe Gray, Andy Wacker, a lot of really notable trail runners were in this field. It was a pretty deep field, so I knew that if I went into the race and stuck with the lead pack, I would probably suffer a lot in the second part of the race. So I ended up staying a little bit back and just try to run my own race as best as I can. I was around 9th place from the gun and the majority of the race, give or take 1 or 2 places here and there, but for the most part I ended in the same place that I started. So that's either good or bad depending on how you view it. But the course itself was very brutal. I hadn't had a whole lot of hill training just because living in New York City, it's not ideal for mountain terrain or any trail races in particular, just because it's pretty flat except in some parts of Central Park. So overall, I was not expecting it to be that hilly and brutal. It had just rained the night before, so the course conditions itself were not that great as well. But I mean, everyone had to deal with it, so it's not to say that I was the only one going through it, but it definitely was very tough to get things going, and I just really felt like I couldn't get into a good groove. My heart rate, according to Strava, was 180 from starting at like mile 2, and honestly kind of felt like that the entire way. I really just didn't feel relaxed, and I don't know if that's because of the way the couple of days leading up into the race were, but I'm sure it had some sort of impact. As far as how I actually performed, I wasn't too disappointed, honestly, given the conditions that were handed to me. I really felt like I ran my race, but I really also didn't think that it really embodied where my race fitness was at that point, just because the workouts leading into it were really strong, and I knew that I just had a lot more in the tank, and I just couldn't really pull it all together during race day. So it was definitely a big learning experience. I'm glad I got to get that type of race exposure under my belt, being able to compete in a national championship race and just, really just sticking my nose in there and seeing what I could do. I know that on any other given day, I would have performed a little bit better, but given everything, I'm pretty confident that I did the best that I could, and I know I did, so I can't really be too down on myself. It was overall really good. I ended up placing 9th overall, but 7th place podium finish. So not as much, not as good as or as well as I thought I would do, and definitely not anywhere near my goal. I was hoping to maybe crack the top 5, but it just wasn't my day, and can't really be too hard on myself there. But overall, I thought it was really cool. The race was very beautiful despite it being really hilly and just really tough on my body. But other than that, I would definitely go back in the future. And as I start to think about what my race schedule looks like now that the Mountain Ultra Trail running competition is winding down for the season, I definitely have a few different ideas as to where I want to start dedicating my time for as far as races go. And I won't say anything now, but let's just say within the next few months I should be getting in my first 100K distance, and I feel like just making the jump is the best way to go about it. I mean, as far as like how I view it, just throw myself into the fire and see how well my body handles it. Obviously I'm going to train a lot just to prepare myself for that type of pain, but I'm really excited, and I think it's just a new challenge for me that I hope goes well, and I'm going to be sure to document that a lot better within these next couple months just to make it more rewarding once that time comes. But if you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I look forward to talking to all of you soon. Thanks.